Hey Thrive, welcome to Music Lessons. I hope y'all are doing well in this season and are finding enjoyable activities to do while at home. I know it can get boring, so hopefully this will be a less boring part of your day. So we're going to talk about music today, specifically the beginning of reading music and what we can see when we look at a piece of music. So this is a piece of music that I'm currently practicing. It looks pretty complicated, right? It looks like a lot of strange symbols on a sheet of paper, but we can learn how to read these notes. So it's kind of like learning a new language, where the more you practice it, the better you get at speaking the language. So let's break this down. Okay, so this is a piece of music. The first thing we need to know is the staff. So do you see these lines? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and then there are spaces in between these lines. So altogether, this makes up a staff. So if we were to break it down, it would look like this. Just a random sheet of paper with 5 lines on it. And this is our staff. So we can count the spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we can count the lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So with that, the notes, or all the little black things, will go on the staff, and all staffs have the same number of lines and spaces. Okay, now that we know about a staff, we can start to put stuff on the staff, because this one has a lot of stuff on it and ours is just blank. So we can start to put stuff on the staff. The first thing we're going to put on the staff is called a clef. So do you see this weird kind of S-shaped thing? This is a clef. So this is a treble clef, and there are other types of clef too. So if we walk over to another piece of music that I have hanging up right here, this is called a bass clef. This like kind of backward C-shaped thing, and this is the clef we're going to learn about today. So if we go back over to our sheet of paper, we can draw a bass clef. So in order to draw a bass clef, you're going to put 2 lines, and then you're going to draw that C. So here we go. That's pretty ugly, but more or less, it looks like a bass clef. So the clef tells us how to read notes, but we're not going to focus on the specifics of notes today. We're going to take a more broad approach and focus on the pitch. So the notes go in either the lines or on the spaces. So the higher the note is, the closer the note is to the top of the paper, the higher the pitch is. So when we're talking about pitch, think of what you would expect an opera singer to sound like versus the theme song of Jaws. All right, so if this is an opera singer, super high, then this would be the Jaws. Right, so that's super low compared to what we just did up there. So typically, the more something sounds like an opera singer, the higher the pitch is. And the more something sounds like the Jaws theme, you can say, oh, that's a pretty low pitch right there. So now we can go back to our staff and apply what we just saw. So even if we don't exactly know what the note is, we can still say that this pitch is going to be lower than this pitch. This pitch is going to be higher. This one's going to sound more like the opera singer, and this one's going to sound more on the Jaws side. So I'm going to go ahead and play both those notes so we can see kind of the differences between them. So we're going back to the cello. All right, first comes this note. So this is the note kind of near the bottom. And this is what that note sounds like. So it's not as low as what we were playing with the Jaws, right? But it's still low compared to what we were playing up here. And so the second note that we see, we're going to expect this one to be higher than the one that we saw down here. So this note sounds like this. So we can tell, so the first one sounded kind of like Jaws, and the second one was closer to over here, which was really high. So I can play them both together. So here's the low one, and then the high one. So one of them, the first one is lower in sounding, and the second one goes higher. And the thing about pitch is that for instruments that are string instruments, like this cello, pitch is kind of wobbly. So what that means is that we can play a note that's not really a note that's going to be on our staff. And to get to these notes, we can do this thing called a slide. So we can literally just take our hand, place it on the string, and just move it up as we play. So we're going to go from low to high. So it goes higher as we go up. So that was us. If we were, say we're starting somewhere down here, so as we go higher, as the sound gets higher and sounds more like an opera singer, it means that we're going higher, 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 higher. And we can also go back down with that slide. So if we started way up here, we can go down. And we can do this on all the strings. Pretty cool, right? Oh yeah, and if you don't have a cello, no worries. You can do this with your mouth too. So if you start at the lowest sound you can make, and you just slide that bad boy up there, you'll just keep going higher and higher, and it'll sound just like a cello slide. So you can go like, all the way as high as you go until your voice cracks. If your voice cracks, it's all right. That is part of the fun. Believe it or not, that's actually a professional singing exercise. So if you want to be like a professional singer, you can practice that slide because that's what they do a lot. All right, guys, that's it for today. Have fun exploring pitches and slides, and I'll see you later.